Hey guys, YouTube Orphan Hunter here. Alright, now here I am with my next Christmas review. And like I told you guys in my last review, now this review is going to be a review for the new Home Alone movie, Home Sweet Home Alone. So when Fox was actually purchased by Disney, Disney did announce that they would be making a new Home Alone movie. Yeah, I remember like when it was first announced, Macaulay Culkin posted a picture on Twitter saying like this is what an updated Home Alone would actually look like, and it was like just him like basically just like being like just like totally out of it now, just like some like lazy freeloader. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like just he's like out of shape and everything. Yeah, yeah, it was a pretty funny picture. So yeah, if you want to see that picture, I'll put it in the description if you want to see it for yourself. Yeah, yeah. And so this was announced like when Disney purchased Fox. Yeah, yeah. And I remember like when the trailer for this movie came out, like I like a lot of other people, I'm sure pretty much everybody, really was not too impressed with it. I mean, yeah, the trailer for this movie just really made it seem like it was just like gonna be copying absolutely everything from the first movie because yeah, this trailer really just like had like just about like everything that we did see in the first film because it showed like there were like elements in the trailer like there was the kid that bugging his mom on vacation while she's on the phone, the family leaving for vacation and forgetting the kid after miscounting. Yeah, yeah, there were of course yeah, it has the two people attempting to burgle the kid's house, and then yeah, and the kid stopping them with booby traps and all that other stuff. So yeah, so this movie really did make it. Well, yeah, the trailer really did make it seem like this movie really was just gonna just do absolutely everything from the first film, and yeah, people really like did question like why were they even doing this? Yeah, I know like. A lot of people really do say that like the second film really just seemed to be the first film all over again, but yeah, that's really not like what Home Alone 2 really was. Home Alone 2 was merely just a sequel with a similar plot to the first film. It wasn't like absolutely repeating everything, but yeah, the trailer for this film really made it seem like it was. Yeah, yeah. This movie. So the trailer really did make it seem like just this was really gonna seem like it really seemed like it was gonna really be the worst Home Alone sequel yet. So yeah, so a lot of people really did have like low expectations for it, and people weren't really excited to see it. And neither was I. But yeah, and even like ever since it came out last month, uh, yeah, people really are not really being too kind on this. Like, yeah, the scores from both the critics and audiences are like insanely low for the this movie. Like, it only has a 16% on the tomato meter and a 12% audience score. So yeah, so this movie really is not getting a whole lot of love. Yeah, even the consensus really is just like really just summed up in two words: nobody's home. So so a lot of people really are just like really hating this film, and this really just seems to be the least popular Home Alone sequel yet. And so yeah, and I'm sure like a lot of people really do feel that this really is the worst sequel of all the Home Alone films. Yeah, but yeah, I just gave this film a watch finally, and to be quite honest, I really don't think that's what I got. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I'm just gonna make this clear. Like, I didn't like this movie. Like, yeah, this film was not good. It really did like have a whole ton of problems, and yeah, it really did get like really stupid, and it did kind of like get like depressing at times. But yeah, quite honestly, I mean, I actually did find myself kind of like enjoying a few things about the film. So Doug Walker like did make a Disney December review for this movie earlier this month. I know I said like when I announced I was going to be doing this that I wasn't really going to try to review anything that he already did, whether it was Nostalgia Critic or Disney December or anything. But yeah, but even before he did his Disney December review for this movie just a couple of weeks ago, I was already planning on reviewing this movie. So yeah, so it really was not like it's not like me like actually doing something like it wasn't my plan to do something he had already covered like this. Like, I was already going to do this from the start. I know I already did review Jack Frost uh, a couple of reviews ago, but yeah, like I said in that video, like it was just a movie that I did want to talk about for like several years, and I just never did get around to it. And since now it's on HBO Max, I could actually watch it and talk about it. Yeah, so that's why I did that one. Yeah, but I was already planning on reviewing this from the start. Yeah, yeah, and but anyway, yeah. In his Disney Summer review for this movie, he did say that he didn't find this to be the worst Home Alone sequel, and he actually did see like there was some effort put into this, and quite honestly, I do agree with that. Like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't good, I will say that, but yeah, I did actually find myself enjoying a few things about this film. Like, yeah, let me just start with like the thing that I'm sure everybody's going to talk about with the film. Like, I did like seeing Buzz back in this film. Like in this film, Devin Ratray did reprise his role as Buzz, and it shows in this film Buzz is now a cop. Yeah, and I did like that they actually did bring Buzz back. I mean, it was like cool to see him like for like just seeing like some like Easter eggs for like the old fans, like the older fans of Home Alone. Yeah, when I seeing him back, and I also liked it that like in the film, like of course like in this film, like the kid in this film, he gets left home alone by his family. Yeah, and at one point, like there is like a call about it to the police, and Buzz like doesn't like think it is real. He just thinks it's a prank because Buzz actually does mention how Kevin is always like calling him like saying that the house is being robbed, and just like always calling to prank Buzz to mess with him. Yeah, so yeah, that is something I actually do like that what this film did. I actually did like how it did have Buzz in it, and he actually talked about Kevin. I'm like, this film like does acknowledge that at least it does take place like in the same universe as the first two Home Alone movies did, because yeah, the third, the fourth, and the fifth movies really don't have any like acknowledgement that it does take place in the same universe. I mean, even if like Kevin and all the characters are like in the fourth film, like when you're watching it, like it does have like some continuity errors from the first two films, and yeah, and plus just as you're watching this, you're not really seeing the same characters from the first two films. So yeah, so despite the fact that it still does have like Kevin and everyone, like just yeah, you really don't buy that it really is actually the same characters there. Yeah, and even like with the third and the fifth movie, like just there's no acknowledgement that this does take place in the same universe as the first two films. So yeah, so there's no like mention of any events from the first two films at all in the third and the fifth movie. So yeah, so it doesn't really like there's no like actual establishment on whether like it is actually set in the same universe as the first two films or not. But this time there is actually an establishment that this is like set in the same universe as the first two films. So I did at least like that. It did like establish that. Yeah, yeah. Plus, in this film, like it does actually have some of like John Williams' music tracks from the first two films in here, which I actually did like. I mean, I know some people would say that it is kind of manipulative that they and then like put those in there. But I still did like hearing John Williams tracks put back in this film, whether it was like during the piece where the kid is setting the traps, or like where you do hear like the choir singing and that choir track and stuff. And even like the finale piece from the first two films like, is in here too. So I did like that they did at least like reuse John Williams' old tracks in this film. Yeah, yeah, so it did at least like have some like service in there for like the older fans, and I don't know how like most people did feel about them doing that kind of stuff, but me personally, I actually did like that they did this. Yeah, yeah, so it did at least like gives like some fan service to people in this film. Yeah, yeah. As far as like the film itself goes, I mean, while it wasn't good, I still did like still find myself enjoying a few things about it, like the stuff I mentioned. And plus, yeah, the kid in this film, the kid's name is Max Mercer. Yeah, and in this film, like it does show that it is basically like he does kind of like have the same life as Kevin, where he is like with his mom a lot, and yeah, it shows how they're preparing to go to Tokyo for Christmas, but then due to like just everybody like in the house because like his cousins are there and everything, so similar to the McAllisters in the first film and the second film, how yeah they're all in the same house, and yeah Max is just like very annoyed by just everybody like screaming around, running. Yeah, they're doing like some more modern things like this kids do today, not like how like what we see the kids doing in the first two films, how they're just like running around talking about like weird things that people really wouldn't do today. Yeah, it's like with them playing video games and like playing with Legos and yeah, just all this other stuff. Yeah, yeah. And at one point, like then Max just gets so annoyed with that he just like runs into the garage and just like sits in the car. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, then morning the family then like they then head off to the airport in like two different cars, and it shows that Max ended up like getting left behind because nobody like noticed that he was in the garage, and they just like weren't paying attention that they did have everybody, so they just ended up leaving. Yeah, and so then yeah, Max then like when Kevin discovered that he was home alone in the first film, Max when he found out he was home alone, he was just like doing like a whole bunch of stuff that he couldn't do when he wasn't alone. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I guess like I'll also like now talk about like the two people that end up bringing into the home in this film. Yeah, so in this film, like we do have like a couple that are like trying to sell their house, but yeah, it shows that like they have so many memories of a family in the house with their two kids that and but they're not really able to actually like pay mortgage on their home, so they really do have to sell it. Yeah, yeah, and plus, yeah, they end up like getting it's like some company with the husband's brother's family end up staying with them for Christmas as well. Yeah, then eventually one day, then as Max and his mom are like stopping by the house to check it out. How it shows that like the husband Jeff, like it shows that like he has like these dolls with unusual deformities, and it shows that um yeah, it shows that he has like one doll that has like an upside down face, and apparently those these deformed dolls are actually rare and they could be worth a lot of money. And then even at one point, Jeff then like realizes that the doll that he has is like worth like a $200,000. Yeah, and so then realizing that that is what they can actually sell the get get the money to save their home, then they end up like trying to look for it. All right, but then yeah, then Jeff then discovers that the doll is missing, and since like Max was there as like Jeff was showing him the dolls, like Jeff came to the conclusion that Max stole it. So then Jeff and his wife Pam then decide that they have to find Max's home to try to get their doll back. Yeah, and so then yeah, then they like try to sneak into the home to try to find the doll. And then yeah, then Max ends up overhearing a conversation between them that like they're trying to find the doll, but yeah, but because Max like didn't like really didn't just understand what they were talking about, he didn't know that they were looking for the doll. Like he like end up he wound up like mistaking that they're actually after him. They're trying to kidnap him. So then yeah, so this is like pretty much where we do get the Home Alone formula. Like when then Max then decides that he has to actually scare Jeff and Pam off, and he has to actually fight them off so they won't take him. Yeah, and so then then one night then they then go back to Max's house, and then he sets up a whole bunch of booby traps for them, and then yeah, you know this formula. He like lays out the traps for them, like they just go through them one by one and all this other stuff. Yeah. So the traps in the film, yeah, they really are not that funny, but what I did find kind of clever is that like some of the traps are actually homages to some of the traps in the first two films. Because yeah, there was one trap where um, Pam actually ends up losing her shoes, and so then yeah, she has to like actually go like through the snow and inside Max's house barefoot, similar to what happened with Marv in the first film. Yeah, there's also a trap that is kind of similar to the paint cans. And yeah, there at one point there's a trap where like Max apparently actually like set out some Lego, similar to like how Kevin set out like the micro machines in the first film, and then yeah. But yeah, I think the Legos are even worse because I mean I think everybody knows like how bad it hurts when you do step on Legos, and then actual like Pam barefoot having to actually go through them. So yeah, just gosh, I mean everybody knows how that feels stepping on Legos. Yeah. So the traps really are not funny, but I did at least like that there were some homages to traps from the first two films in there. Yeah, yeah. But then yeah, then eventually when like Max then like finally like has them down, Max then like then just questions them on what they're doing, and then they then eventually do learn that Max didn't steal the doll; that he just ended up stealing a can of soda. Yeah, then they end up like just when Max then like tells them that he heard them saying that they were trying to kidnap him. They then just say that they were not after him; they were after the doll. But then Max then like said they didn't have the doll. And when they learned that Max was alone, they then offered to um let him stay with them until his mother comes back. Because yeah, I guess yeah, because yeah, when the family then like arrived at Tokyo, then the mother then realized that Max was left home alone. So she pretty much ends up going through the same stuff that Kate did in the first one, where she's trying to get back to him. Yeah, yeah, and so then yeah, then then Max ended up staying at Jeff and Pam's for Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day, like it was then showed that um Jeff's nephew Ollie, he ended up actually taking the doll. Oh yeah, and then yeah, with them the doll actually being in their possession, then Jeff and Pam were then ensured that they would be able to pay off their house and stay. Yeah, mm, yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, then the movie then just like ended, showing how Max's family and Jeff and Pam's family were now friends, and they were having Christmas together now, with them getting their lives back together. Yeah. So the movie really is like while it's not good, it really does have like a whole lot of problems. Like it just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense like for a lot of the stuff to happen with like the Jeff and Pam like actually like pretty much like seeming like they were like trying to actually rob the house and all this other stuff. Like yeah, I really don't want to repeat like what Doug Walker said. So yeah, you can like go watch his December review. But yeah, yeah. So a lot of stuff really doesn't work about this. But yeah, there were still at least a few things I actually did enjoy, whether it was homages to the first two films or yeah, bringing them back or anything like that. But I do think that Max overall does do like an okay job. I think I still would rather watch him than rather see Finn from Home Alone 5 or even the Kevin from Home Alone 4 in there. Like, I still think I would rather see Max. So, yeah, so in a way, I think I would like say that I would prefer to watch this film again over Home Alone 4 and 5. Yeah, so, yeah, so. Yeah, so I would agree with Doug Walker when he does say that he doesn't find this to be the worst Home Alone film, because I really don't either. Like, there was at least still like some effort put into this. So, yeah, so I really can't say that this film really didn't like do anything, because yeah, it did at least like get me interested in a few things that did happen. So I really don't agree with the hate. I think people are kind of like over hating on the film. Oh, and another nod from Buzz in this film. Like I said that he mentioned Kevin, but he even actually like called Kevin a trout sniffer again. So just like he did in Home Alone 2, Buzz like called Kevin a trout sniffer one more time. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Max, I did think that he was a good enough. Yeah, and like I said, his mom really like just goes through like the same stuff Kate did with like trying to get back to him, and yeah, all this other stuff. So it does like repeat some stuff from the first film a lot, but yeah, it did still at least like do like a few things that I was at least like interested in. That I did think that they were at least trying to do something new with this one. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of stuff about it doesn't work. I can definitely like see like why a lot of people really like are would not be a fan of this. Like I definitely understand like why people probably will not want to watch this film again. But yeah, I would still like I said, I would still like personally rather watch this one over the fourth and the fifth one. So yeah, so it does at least have the distinction of not being the worst film in the Home Alone series. Yeah. So but yeah, personally, me, like, if they were ever to do, like, another Home Alone sequel, I would really like to see one really done, like, right. I would like to see one that really is actually acting as a sequel to the first two films. Like, I would personally like to see it, like, bring Macaulay Culkin back, have it be, like, Kevin as a grown adult, and maybe, like, do something with Harry and Marv like actually like being released from prison and are like trying to track down Kevin to get their revenge on him. Like actually bring back Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and yeah, just have it be like something like be more of an adult Home Alone film. Like do something that probably will be like a little bit darker. You could probably make it like a PG-13 movie, and just yeah, do something like more dark, more adult oriented. At least because yeah, a lot of the people that really did grow up watching the first two Home Alone films, like me, are like more grown up now, and they can really handle more like adult stuff. So if they were to do like another Home Alone sequel, I would really like to see it be one that actually is like one that really does act as a sequel to the first two films, especially like with this like trend of like kind of like reboots and sequels that we're getting now with like the Halloween like these new Halloween movies and some other ones like that that are like really like acting as kind of like reboots and like sequels to events from like a certain point in the movies. Yeah, I would really like to see that done with Home Alone if they ever do another one, like make it like a proper sequel. So yeah, we'll see if they ever do anything like that. Yeah, but yeah, at least like with this one, I can at least say that it's not the worst Home Alone film, and yeah, it is one that I would still at least watch over a couple others again. Yeah, but yeah, still, it's not the classic that the first two films are. Yeah, so so I guess my rating for this film, I guess I would probably give it I don't know, 1.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, I know that really doesn't seem like a whole lot, especially like with with like me like kind of like giving this film some praise. But yeah, it's yeah, I definitely do still understand like why people are not big fans of it, and it's not good. But yeah, compared to like what I did say about the fourth and the fifth ones, yeah, it does like still do seem like I am giving it a good rating. Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, so I guess that is like really like what I can really say about it. All right. So yeah, so this is my review of Home Sweet Home Alone. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this film. And with this being like a new release on Disney Plus, there's also another Christmas film on Disney Plus that of course was like recently made. I think it was like made like it was released like when Disney Plus first launched a couple years ago. Yeah, there's another one that I do want to talk about. And so yeah, so that will be my review tomorrow. So tomorrow will be my Christmas Eve edition of these reviews with my review of another certain like new Christmas movie that was released on Disney Plus. All right. So yeah, so I'm gonna be reviewing that one tomorrow for Christmas Eve. All right. But yeah, so this is my review of Home Sweet Home Alone. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.